Listen, we're just hearing that it's been confirmed in the last few moments by the Qataris that, Martin, no alcohol will now be available to fans at stadiums. No alcohol will be on sale. One wonders, we'll talk about this later on, Simon, but if you're Budweiser, you're like, sorry, say that again? They've got a huge. Well, let's talk about it now. In actual fact, I mean, Budweiser have got a huge financial deal with the Qataris and the World Cup. Budweiser is one of FIFA's biggest sponsors.
When you sit there and you look at it and go, well, these things can't possibly happen. Things can't be right. Things must have been developed and everything must have been put in place. We can't be possibly listening to the fact they're still building things over there. And we go, no. This is all just the media building up a narrative. And then you hear underlying stories like this. This must have been a discussion that's been had previously. This World Cup isn't a secret. It hasn't just popped up over the parapet in the last week or so.
Yeah.
It is relatively jaw-dropping. It's unimportant, I think, but it's part and parcel of people wanting to go to football matches these days, or to have part of it, to have some entertainment, which is have a drink inside the ground. So it's almost perplexing that we are on the eve of the first game, and all of a sudden, for some people, in their minds, the game will have changed in terms of their viewing experience.
But the thing is this, I mean, Simon, you're a businessman. Let's say you're president of Budweiser.
Yeah.
FIFA are in breach of what is a multi-million-dollar contract.
Well, this is a circle they've got to square. You would have felt that FIFA and Budweiser would be conversant with this part of the world and conversant with the obligations and the issues surrounding it, and maybe they thought they could strong arm it through because there were slight dispensations for drinking in the fan zones. But now, for whatever reason, they are now suggesting that you aren't able to drink inside the stadiums.
It's a $75 million contract.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, Anheuser-Busch are a billion dollar company. 75 million is neither here nor there to them. But the principle of a deal, which is a sponsorship deal, which goes with FIFA around the world, is a problem for Infantino. We can stop lecturing the world about the political side of things and get on with these commercial deals.
A lot been said, isn't it, about the Qatari sort of rules and the way they are in their country. This is one I don't really feel I'm opposed to, Jim. I think that a dry, sober World Cup might be a good one for all of us.
Depends if they listen to your commentary.
What I don't really enjoy is that choice has been taken away from us as to whether balance should be allowed.
Well, that's a good point,
to be allowed to be had.
They will be able to drink in the fans' parks.
Yeah, okay, so they're allowing it. So in the grounds, Jim, let's get some context.
In the stadiums, yeah.
So maybe
that's
not such a bad thing from what we sometimes see, isn't it, when fuelled with alcohol, fans together. I'm not opposed to that, Jim.
I mean, these are all the things that you would have felt, and we know the answer to this question, but I'm going to flag it anyway, that all of these things must and should have formed part of the idea that you were going to award World Cups. I know people then say, well, hang on a second, you don't seem to have a problem with the LGBT issues or migrant workers diet. I do have a problem with that, but I'm accepting the culture of the situation.
Yeah.
But in order for people to come and travel to certain scenarios, you would have expected a certain amount of what is perceived hospitality. I don't have a problem like Martin and people not being able to drink inside the stadium. We're going there to watch a football match, not have a knees up. We can have a knees up and watch a football match, I suppose.
Alcohol-free lager, Jim?
Well, they probably will.
Or maybe they should be selling that.
But I mean, we all knew this. As Simon says, when Qatar's name came out the envelope, produced by that man Blatter, we all knew then Qatar's a dry nation, with alcohol normally only available in certain hotels in Doha. Well, now they're breaking from that tradition because it's going to be available to an extent in fans' parks. But now we expected an announcement today. That announcement has come. It's been confirmed. There will be no alcohol, including Budweiser, one of the top sponsors of the tournament, available inside the stadiums.
I expect you to be up on your high horse, Martin. This is fan welfare. Where are you?
Fan welfare.
Fan welfare.
Keown,
we need you. The nation needs you. Fan welfare.
This is protecting their welfare.
He made a good point there, though, Simon, in that it takes away choice. I mean, I see that. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I don't drink now, thank God. But it takes away choice. It robs the supporter of choice. He might pitch up whoever that fan is, or whoever that supporter is from whatever nation. I fancy a beer at the stadium today because it is 28 degrees,
bit of balance,
and now you can't get it.
Well, there will be certain people suggesting that there's choices being taken away from them in terms of the way that they have to behave because of their sexuality, and they'll say, well, if that's what I have to endure, then why shouldn't you have to endure not being able to have a beer in a stadium? The argument will rage, and the more people make a noise about this, the more other people will suggest that that's the least of the concerns that you have when you're over there.
Yeah. Big reaction to that, actually. A lot of people giving their views even this early. There's Phil Trax is saying, beer ban, well, that's just a start. Cultures don't mix well in this part of the world. We're about to find out whether or not that is true. There's another one coming in. Surely Budweiser have an alcohol-free beer which still carries their brand name. I'm sure it does, but Simon, that's not the point. As I said before, if you're the president of Budweiser, you're on the blower right now to FIFA saying, hey, what about this multi-million-dollar deal?
Yeah, if you're the president of Budweiser or the commercial arm that's done this particular deal, I would have expected him to know it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a matter of hours before the tournament gets underway. Yeah.
They're still advertising.
Yeah.
We're talking about it now.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, you're not going to sell that many Budweisers in Qatar anyway. The branding of Budweiser for the overall event will still be prevalent, and it'll still be the worldwide audience that's watching it. Just the small amount of people in Qatar won't be able to drink Budweiser. I don't think it's going to make a commercial difference to them in the big game.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.